I believed everything he said, and because I became consumed with his life and who he was, and I identified. Now think about what your identity is. A simple definition of identity is the condition of being yourself, not another. And I identified as this person's girlfriend. That was my life. If he would have told me to jump, I would have said how high. As a matter of fact, I've done it many times. Long story short, because like you, we could be here for hours talking about all the negative things in this relationship, but after a few years, you know, God's been started to do some things in my life. I began to come to my senses a little bit, and a lot of things started happening in my life that were like out of my control. Like my friendships were dropping left and right. I had no more friends. My mother was battling in her final stages of breast cancer. God was working something on the inside, and I had this tug of war going on in my life because I wanted to stay with Mr., but I also wanted to serve God. Because Mr. was the only thing I had left. My mom ended up passing on. I had no friends. And I was, in close relationships with my friends, and they died off. So I told God, I'll serve you. I'll live for you. But don't take him away from me. I need to hold on to him because he was all I had left. And I told you earlier that Mr. was a tad bit deceitful. And Mr. was a tad bit controlling, and Mr. was a tad bit manipulative. One night, Mr. became a tad bit abusive.
Oh, Lord.
And all the warning signs that should have told me in the beginning and throughout my relationship that he's not the one for you. God told me multiple times, he is not the one for you. And I wanted to prove God wrong. I thought that if I worked on my Christian walk enough, he would change his behavior. I didn't see what God saw in him. I mean, in the very beginning, God said, leave that guy alone. And I tried. And I went back and forth with this guy. But he had all these warning signs, all these, basically my decisions were made because I based my decisions off of him and how he would feel about it, not based off what I feel, what my concerns were. And it became so serious that I valued my relationship with him and his life more than I valued my mother when she was sick and she needed someone. And I was not there. Thankfully, I have a great family and great support system that was there for my mom, but I wasn't. I was too busy being concerned about who he was and what he did. And the thing is, when you don't value yourself and you don't value your life, you end up in situations which you're pinned up against the wall by your neck and repeatedly punched in your face like you're a grown man.
Oh my God.
This is situations that can happen when you have no value over your life. They can become abusive, and if they start off toxic, they may not become physically abusive, but it's still an unhealthy relationship. This relationship just happened to become physically abusive, and I was in a fight like I was a grown man, and I'm 5'2". Back then, I weighed about 110 pounds. I gained some weight. Don't judge me.
You are beautiful.
Thank you. But the thing about it is, God was trying to show me about value years before I met Mr. He was trying to show me this way back when I worked at Walmart. I worked at Walmart in the jewelry department, and I'm sure almost everyone here has been to Walmart. You go past the jewelry department,